Welcome to another video in the Monmouth Junction Fire Department's training series. Today we're going to take a look at our 1989 GMC support vehicle known as Unit 207. On the driver's side of 207 in the front compartment has on the top shelf a number of collapsible chairs that we can utilize for our firefighters during rehab after a fire. We also have in this compartment a dormitory style refrigerator that's full of cold water for rehab. We also have various long handled tools, shovels, picks, things of that nature. There's also 3 portable fire extinguishers, a dry chem extinguisher, a carbon dioxide extinguisher, as well as a combustible metals extinguisher. Moving to our second compartment is all hazardous materials containment supplies. We have a large supply of 40-pound bags Speedy Dry on the bottom, and up top we have a spreader that we can utilize to spread the Speedy Dry. There's 5-gallon buckets and a couple of different sizes of oil cans. In our third compartment on the top shelf is more hazardous material supplies. There's booms, socks, and absorbent pads, as well as 2 150-gallon absorbent pools. Coming down to the bottom of the compartment, we have over a dozen spare 1-hour SCBA cylinders, as well as some other first aid equipment, including boxes of ice packs. There's a first aid kit, an AED, PET oxygen masks, and also a 5-gallon bucket for decon. After our firefighters come out of a structure, we can wash their gear off, get all the contaminants off of their gear and off of their skin. In our rear compartment, we have some confined space equipment. There are 2 different sizes and styles of Stokes baskets, as well as a couple of backboards and the tripod for confined space entry. There are 2 domestic water shutoff keys. We respond to water emergencies, as well as a couple of long-handle brooms. There's a large plastic garbage can containing Speedy Dry, as well as a large toolbox. Coming around to the officer side of 207, on our top shelf is some more hazardous materials supplies, a couple of plastic pools, and some decon equipment should we need to decontaminate people. We have clothing that we can issue to them temporarily, and some brushes and soap as well. On the bottom compartment in the rear are clean and dry lengths of hose, both 1 3/4 and 2.5. There's enough hose for each pre-connect on all 3 of our engines. Coming over to the compartment above the wheel well on the officer side, there's some salvage equipment. We have 2 backpack-style vacuums for water removal. There's a couple of tents that we can set up to put over to firefighters if they're in rehab. We have a large traffic sign that we can deploy if we are training, or even to warn motorists if we're operating on a roadway. There are some other miscellaneous tools, including a battery-powered chainsaw, a circular saw, and some fuel and oil cans. Moving up closer to the front of the officer side of the truck are some miscellaneous containers of rope and chain. There's a toolbox which contains salvage equipment if we need to help someone maybe board up their house if we responded to a fire. There's a portable fan that is utilized for confined space rescue, as well as a steel bucket for chimney fires. On the bottom shelf of this compartment is more confined space equipment. It contains our air cart, which has 2 1-hour cylinders. There are 2 large plastic boxes that contains the air systems that the firefighters don to perform confined space rescue, as well as a box that contains 4 100-foot air hoses for use with that confined space supplied air system. There's also a collapsible ladder on the bottom shelf to aid in confined space entry. Coming over to the last compartment, or the front compartment on the officer side, is predominantly more rescue equipment. On the top shelf, we have numerous bags of rescue rope in different diameters and lengths. There's a sked stretcher, Ken stretcher, and some other packaging equipment. Coming down to the middle compartment are more plastic containers of confined space equipment, including full body harnesses, half harnesses, as well as other rigging equipment, including mechanical advantage systems for confined space rescue. On the bottom shelf of the front compartment is cribbing, including 6x6s and 4x4s, a couple of thicker boards for use with airbags. There is also a bucket of tubular webbing and a small cordboard box of rescue rope. Well, we hope you enjoyed looking at our Support Unit 207. This truck is basically a toolbox on wheels for us. Any equipment that we can't carry on our engines, or maybe it's a piece of equipment that we don't use very often, that we don't want to take up space on the engines, goes on this truck. So it's a very versatile piece of equipment for us. It carries a lot of tools to help us aid in our emergency response. Again, we hope you enjoyed watching this video, and stay tuned for more videos in our training series. Thank you.